Hi, good morning. Welcome again to this another series lecture about electrical wiring simulator or EWS. Today we're going to discuss the third activity under the magnetic contactors. Okay, so let's click this one and then let's proceed to the third activity. So the third activity is entitled normally closed contact circuit. So this is quite similar to the previous activity that we had. However, in this particular case, we will be using a normally closed contact. Okay, so let's click the play normal mode. So before we start wiring and start our simulation, let's discuss first the functionality of our circuit. Okay, so as what we can see here, we have again a circuit breaker and then the fuse, and then we have the push button and then the coil of our magnetic contactor, which is in this particular case KM1. So this is the KM1. Okay, so we have the normally closed contact, so we have the 21 and 22. Okay, so if we zoom in our contactor, the 21 and 22 is, so this is the 13 and then the 21, so this is the 13 and then this is the 21 and then this is the 22. So 21 and then 22. So this connection is a normally close contact as what we can see in this diagram here, normally close contact. So let's try to analyze first this circuit. So the moment we start our circuit breaker, okay, we on our circuit breaker, so the current will not be able to flow through our uh, coil here, the KM1 or the contactor number one, because there is an open circuit here. Okay. However, the current will be able to flow since this is a normally closed contact. So the current will now be able to flow through this contact to the load, which is in this particular case the pilot lamp number two, returning to the other side of the line. Hence, if we start the breaker, we can say that although that the KM1 is de-energized state, this PL2 will turn on because the current will flow here. However, if we press this PB2, this KM1 will now energize. And then you can hear the contactor tuck. Okay? And then if this contactor is energized, this normally closed contact will now open. If this contact is open, then this PL2 will be turned off because the current will not be able to flow from this line here to the other line. So this is turned off if we click this one. However, if we release our hand or our finger from this PB2, okay, release, it will return to its normally open state. Okay, hence the current will not be able to flow to KM1, deactivating it, and then this one will return to its original state, which is normally closed, and then this one will turn on. Okay, to summarize, start the breaker, this one is de-energized, this one is turned on. However, if you press this one will be energized, this one will open, this one will be turned off. If we release our hand here, this one will go back to de-energized, this one will go back to normally closed, and then this one will be turned on. Okay, so to simulate this one, we will wire it first, similar to what we did in the previous lecture. So one wire at a time. So we'll start with the S to the fuse number 2. Okay, so we have the S to fuse number 2. Okay, and then we proceed with the fuse number 2 to input of our PB2. Okay, so we have this one to the input of the PB2. Next, the output of our PB2 to the KM1 A1. Okay, so the output of this one to the input of A1. Okay, next, so the A2 will go back to the output of the fuse 1. Okay, this is very similar to what we did in the previous activity. Okay. Hmm. And then let's go back from the fuse to the breaker. This one here from the fuse to the breaker. Now, let's connect this 21 here. So, same. There are two options. We can connect this one to the output of the fuse 2 or from the input of our PB2. But same with the previous lesson that we had, I think it would be easier if we connect this one to the input of our PB2. So, 21 to the input of PB2. So 21, which is in this particular case, this one, okay, to the input of the PB2. okay, to the input of our PB2. Okay, and then next, the 22 will be connected to the input of our PL2. Our PL2 here is this one here, the red. So, our 22, oops, our 22 will be connected to the input of the PL2. Okay, and then the output of our PL2, the output of our PL2 will be connected, can be connected to the A2 of the KM1 or the output of our fuse 1. So same with what we did in the previous lecture, it would be easier if we connect this one to the A2 of our contactor. Okay, so this one here, connect that one, and then connect it to the A2 of our contactor. Okay, let's zoom out. And then to verify if our circuit is correct, let's click the submit button. Okay, so as what we can see, the moment we start the simulation, so this PL2 is already turned on. Okay, since as what we discussed a while ago, since there is already a closed circuit here. Okay, however, if we press this one, this PB2, we expect that this one will be energized and then this one will open. Hence, this PL2 will be turned off. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, click turn off. Okay, however, if we release this one, so this magnetic contactor will return to its original state, which is de-energized. Hence, the normally closed contact will return to its normal state, which is normally closed. Hence, the PL2 will be turned on. Okay, let's release this one. On. Click again. Off. Release. On. Okay, so see you in the next lecture.